It's the Happy Families podcast. It's the podcast for the time-poor parent who just wants answers now.
They don't need you to be perfect. They're not expecting you to be perfect. All they need to know is that they're loved, and that will carry them through all of the other stuff, all of the other junk.
And now here's the stars of our show, my mum and dad.
Well, Kylie, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do I'll Do Better today in our Happy Families podcast episode that's all about how we're learning from our parenting, and there's a really good reason for it, which I'm going to explain in just a sec. But before we do that, we promised our podcast listeners that we would fill them in just briefly on our wedding anniversary getaway, which we are now 4 days back from. And I don't know about you, but I'm still tired from the time zone difference and from the late nights and everything else that's happened since we've gotten back.
It never ceases to amaze me that sitting in a car or a plane can
so
be
tiring.
so tiring.
How does that work?
But all of the commute, it really, really takes it out of you.
Yeah, so for those of you who missed it, Kylie and I celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary at the start of the week, and we've kind of created this unwritten, weird tradition thing where Kylie looks after Valentine's and I look after our wedding anniversary, and I love to surprise Kylie. So this year we did something, we've never done it before. It was inspired by Mr. Beast walking across a university campus. For those of you who are not familiar, Mr. Beast is the number one YouTube video producer in the world, walking across a university campus and saying, hey, I'll give you some money if you'll fly to Paris and pick me up a baguette and bring it home. So some guy said, yeah, I'll do it for $300. And I just thought, got to do something crazy like that with Kylie for our anniversary. So we organised for a weekend. Well, I organised a surprise weekend in Queenstown, where we went and we walked on a glacier, the Tasman Glacier at Mount Cook. Mount Cook's New Zealand's highest mountain. What else did we do? We went in the super fast, what do you call it? The shot over jet boat, crazy drive fast through the ravines in the jet boat.
Those things were awesome, but I think the thing that was probably the biggest highlight for me,
spending a weekend uninterrupted with me. Is that what it was? No kids.
No kids. No. We tried riverboarding.
Yes.
A few weeks ago on the podcast, we talked about the fact that I wanted to do things that challenged me.
Yeah, you did.
And when you go to touristy places, there's always, bungee jumping or crazy canyon swings and things like that.
Tried to convince you to do that.
Yeah, but I don't enjoy. It's actually less about the fear and more about the massive shot of adrenaline that goes through my body, and it just doesn't feel good to me. Even when I get to the other end, I actually feel sick.
Right.
So I didn't want to do something like that, but I'm all about kind of pushing myself and pushing boundaries. And we were going to go whitewater rafting, but the guy at the counter said, if you really want a thrill, you need to try riverboarding. Riverboarding is literally wetsuit, flippers, helmet, and a boogie board in the rapids.
Yeah.
And it was just awesome.
It was so much fun, wasn't it?
I was so scared. I thought for sure I was going to not drown because we had life jackets on, but just get lost in it all. And once you understand the movement of water, it's actually quite easy to navigate. But going through the rapids with nothing more than just your being was a little bit nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
And you hit the water fast. You're in the water, you're in the flow, and the next thing, like what we were in the water for maybe 10, 15 seconds, and we'd hit our first set of rapids.
Yeah.
But it was so much fun.
It really was. So and of course, we got to spend a whole lot of time together with my mum looking after the kids, my mum and dad looking after the kids. It was great.
I have to say, probably outside of the time that we spent together, the other highlight was just how much attention your parents gave to our children while we were gone.
Yeah.
They have been, like us, very busy with their life and sometimes kind of just get caught up in their life. But this time they really slowed down and they just made sure that every child got time with them and did something they wanted to do. And I just loved it. Your mum was in the pool playing Marco Polo with the kids.
Yeah. And that was the highlight.
I don't actually ever remember her doing something like that with them.
She never did it with me.
It was so I was just so excited to hear the kids' stories and the things that they did together.
Really nice stuff. So we know that's a little bit indulgent, but we wanted to let you know that we do love each other, celebrated our anniversary together, and now it's time for us to dive into our I'll Do Better Tomorrow for this week. If you're new to the Happy Families podcast, first of all, welcome. Thank you for joining us. What we do on a Friday is we reflect on the week that was. We consider our parenting, our child-rearing practices, and try to work out, are we doing okay? Where are we going right? Where are we going wrong? How can we do better as parents tomorrow? Because we really want to be intentional, great parents. And I'm going to go first today, Kylie, because I know you've got a little bit of a story, whereas I don't. Because we got back on Monday night, hugged the kids, fell asleep because we were exhausted. Tuesday, I flew to Sydney and I did a parenting presentation to about 120 parents in Watson's Bay on the upper east side, I guess, of Sydney. It was just such a great night talking about carrots and sticks and how we can create discipline strategies that work with our kids. Then I managed to get home briefly on Wednesday. Thursday, I was in Adelaide. Today, Friday, I'm off to Darwin. I'll be back again tomorrow. Feel like I really haven't seen the kids this week. And so my I'll Do Better tomorrow is when you can't be with them, make sure that you connect. And my big priority each day while I've been away this week, literally traveling all over the countryside, has been those FaceTime calls, those really quick touch base in the morning or touch base in the evening. Have a great day. How was your day? Just checking in with the kids. And it's actually been really nice to do it. But boy, oh boy, I can't wait for tomorrow when I get back from Darwin so that I get to hang out with the kids. They've been begging me to take them surfing and I'm just itching to get in the water with them. So that's it. The importance of connection, even when you can't be there, being an absent parenting expert. An absent parent because you're so busy helping other people have happier families and being the parenting expert. That's my I'll Do Better tomorrow. Really short, really simple. Connect, even if you can't be there in person. Connect. Make sure those kids feel seen and heard and valued.
Last week on I'll Do Better Tomorrow, we talked about me finding a new outlet. And I've started drawing. And obviously we've been away and so I haven't had a chance to do it. And the other day I actually pulled them out and I had the two big girls at home. I said, do you want to come and do some drawing with me? And Chanel has, again, never tapped into that.
So when you say the two big girls, you're talking about our eldest who's moved in around the corner. So she's in her 20s. She's been married for nearly 4 years now. And who was the other big girl? Ella. So she's
number 3.
She's at university now, our third daughter. Yeah.
Well, she was actually doing some uni work. She's doing some beautiful architectural drawings.
Yeah.
So she was sitting down doing that. And Chanel was like, do you have a colouring in book? So she sat down and coloured next to me. And I got so absorbed that I almost missed cross country. It was so nice to just be in that space and just draw. So I just wanted to follow up because
you're fulfilling your commitments.
I am.
Yeah.
I am. But my story today is actually about a conversation that I had with baby number 2, who's over in England at the moment and has been gone for a few weeks now. Well, it was Mother's Day over there last week. So she'd had some time to think about me and her relationship with me. And she actually just sent me this beautiful little message about obviously how much she loved me and how grateful she was. And she remembers going to church one Sunday as a young girl and they did a lesson and they asked the girls which Disney princess would best represent their mum. And most of the girls were like Cinderella. Everybody loved Cinderella. And Abby acknowledged that she said the same. But Chanel, being a little bit older, had actually broken the mold a little bit. And she said, no, I think my mum, if I was to pinpoint one princess, it would be Tiana.
Who's Tiana?
She's from The Frog and the Prince.
I don't know it. I haven't seen it. I'll have to watch it.
So she starts off really poor. She's working a couple of jobs so that she can save it because she wants to own her own restaurant one day. And so she works really, really hard and finally gets there and, you know, kind of fulfills her dreams. And so Abby was actually reflecting on that conversation that she'd had all those years ago. And she said, I realised, Mum, that I think Chanel was actually right. She said, because when I think about you, she said, you've always set an example of working hard towards your goals and you've done some amazing things as a result of that. She talked about, you know, just the way she felt about me and how grateful she was for all of the sacrifices that I'd made for her. It's so interesting to me when I hear my kids say things like that, in my mind, I've got this big, long list of misdemeanors, all of these things that I got wrong, I wished I could have done differently, all of these regrets about who I was and who I wanted to be, or the fact that I'm so different now and I wish I could have had my time over again knowing what I know now. And yet to hear my children share the feelings that they have, I'm just so overwhelmingly grateful that their list is so different from mine. And so my message today for anyone who feels like it's just all too hard, they're getting everything wrong.
And that the kids are judging them for it.
Is that your kids probably aren't.
Yeah.
Your kids are seeing the hard, but what they're actually seeing is the love that you put into everything. They don't need you to be perfect. They're not expecting you to be perfect. All they need to know is that they're loved, and that will carry them through all of the other stuff, all of the other junk. We're so hard on ourselves. And so today, just be a little bit kinder, a little bit softer on yourself, and recognize that you're doing the best you can, and your kids probably see that.
We really hope that the Older Better Tomorrow episode that we've just shared with you is useful in helping you as you navigate the ups and downs, the daily challenges of parenting. Kylie, thanks for sharing that. It's a really beautiful story. Happy Families podcast is produced by Justin Rulon from Bridge Media. Craig Bruce is our executive producer. Hey, next Thursday, we've got our Raising Resilient Kids Summit. If you haven't grabbed your ticket already, time's running out. It's going to be an amazing summit. You can consume it however you like via podcast. One episode at a time, one video at a time, one talk at a time, or you can binge the entire thing on Thursday as it drops live. The Raising Resilient Kids Summit tickets are available online at happyfamilies.com.au. Have a great weekend, and we'll be back on Monday with maybe the biggest news of our year on the Happy Families podcast.